user testing is important to incorporate the user. I think the user is the person who's going to use the product, of course.
Lots of new insights of how your product will be used and what is logical in use, which you haven't really thought about maybe while designing.
I think it's important because you really need to know who you're designing for, and you need to check up whether your design is good.
I think in the end we're designing for the user, so I guess kind of making them a part of your design process is a key element of the design process.
I think the most important thing is validating what you assume or rather design.
I think user testing is important because you want to fail fast and often, as they say in the startup scene. So you want to get feedback on what possible end users think of your product or your idea. And you basically usually don't know what you don't know. So you need to find out the stuff you don't know from the actual end user. So you need to try to simulate a real world setting and basically just try it out with users. So I think it's important to do as soon as possible.
Test some unusual stuff, maybe make it not too complicated but also not short. Make it long, like they have to they try a lot of stuff, I guess.
I think preparation.
Ideally, you would have to go to the place where the product gets used in the end, and where the user feels at home. And you really need to make the user feel comfortable. So I think their natural living environment.
An important aspect of the user test is to kind of keep them away from confirmation bias, so that they don't kind of just say what you want them to say. I don't know how to do that, but I think that's really important when you're doing user tests.
A good user test for me would be if you would not have a very specific question in mind, but if you would test more in an explorative way. So I'm a big fan of focus groups and qualitative research when you're user testing. So you basically present, for example, an idea, and you have very open questions as to what people think about it. Because, like I said before, you don't know what you don't know, and you're trying to find out if people maybe react in a way that you didn't foresee at all. And when you start to think of more specific questions, then usually you don't get answers to this type of question.
Bad user tests are usually the tests where you don't ask enough questions, or you maybe do not have enough participants.
I think a bad user test is the one which is ill prepared. So during the test it is unclear what to do for both the researcher and the participant. And an experience I've had with a good user test is where the test also led to great results, so you know what to change in your design.
I've had a good one when I went to a classroom, really to test a new product with a teacher. That was a really good one, because then you can also see how the children react to the product, and it really replicates the real life situation. And the bad one is maybe when we were hurried, we did it last minute, and we're like trying to frame how the reaction should have been.
The user tests I've done are usually with relatives, and what happens is exactly what I was trying to avoid, is like the confirmation bias. So they're trying to answer in a way that you think they're supposed to answer, and then you just in the end up with nothing.
To do a very early test with something that maybe people couldn't judge very well, but that you would get input that we might not have done the test at all. So we might have scrapped the idea and not done the pilot.